House of Reps ad hoc committee investigating job racketeering in the Federal Character Commission continues to dig deep into the mismanagement of that government agency.
Somebody talking about using condom as a palliative. Is it not somebody that have eaten that will talk about condom? People need to eat first. They need to eat.
Also on the program, we would hear from the chairman of the House Committee on HIV, AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. You're watching the Hello Chambers on TVC News. I am Tijesu Adiwi. More victims of alleged job racketeering at the Federal Character Commission have testified that they have been receiving monthly salaries without being assigned any task. No less than 14 of them admitted to have paid huge sums of money to secure placements with the organization.
In the course of the outgoing week, the ad hoc committee probing alleged job racketeering across government agencies had its hands full as it hosts many of the government agencies. First, it saw 14 victims of job racketeering testifying before it as it carpeted the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board for recruiting 300 staff without cost to advertisements.
You cannot start a new agency with an unbalanced recruitment.
The panel also frowned at gross violation of the provisions of the Federal Character Law governing employment in the country by most of the agencies. The Nigerian Institute of Trypanosomiasis Research and the Nigerian Council for Good Science and Technology were two of the agencies which honored the panel's invitation. After its interface with their heads, the committee sought to know reasons behind alleged refusal of the institute to respect the approval granted by the head of service and the Federal Character Commission. The committee accused the council for failing to respect the constitutional provision on federal character, employing its foundation staff from only 2 geopolitical zones of the country. The council registrar told the committee that the council, which was established in the year 2020, employed 65 staff for its take-off.
Just 3 years now, and we have only made one recruitment, and based on that, we have approvals from the relevant government institutions for the employment in 2022. We recruited 65 personnel. The approvals we have are listed in the submission, page 2 of our letter to the chairman of the ad hoc committee.
There are agencies that draw funds from taxpayers' money. And ma'am, you sit down, you sit over this agency, and you are happy that you don't have a Nigerian community in your establishment. And just 2 zones are sitting in a place and manning an agency that we all contribute all our taxes to feed. Mr. Chairman, we should take this matter very serious.
You talk about Nigerian community when the chief executive officer of the agency herself is saying that some staff in that agency are not even receiving salary. It means we need to know more about that agency. And we can only get to know more if a proper submission is given to us with the personal cost, with the state of origin and local government of those personnel. That will give us more ideas of validating the status of the recruitment done in that agency. You cannot start a new agency with an unbalanced recruitment.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has called for more trade and technological relationships between Nigeria and the Republic of South Korea, especially in the energy and mining sectors. Tajuddin Abbas said this when a delegation from the South Korean Embassy to Nigeria and the 21st National Assembly of the Republic of South Korea visited him in his office to seek Nigeria's support for the Asian countries' World Expo 2023 hosting bid. The speaker expressed delight over the visit and emphasized the long-standing relations between Nigeria and South Korea, which has resulted in different exchange of parliamentary programs since Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999.
In September, there will be a G20 meeting that will be held in New Delhi, India, and His Excellency President Tinubu will attend the G20 meeting, and Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will also attend that meeting. The Korean government has a big vision to become global pivotal state, contributing to freedom, peace, and prosperity of the international community.
Assure the delegation that we in the 10th Assembly will support your aspiration to host the World Expo in 2030. You can take it from us that we are with you. We will support your aspiration to host the World Expo come 2030. You have our own cooperation to that regard. I also want to congratulate you on your independence and to wish you all the best.
We will take a short break and return with our interview segment. This is the Hello Chambers on TVC News. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us on the Hello Chambers. And my guest today is an honorable member from Abia State. He is the chairman of the House Committee on HIV and AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. His name is Honorable Godwin Ogah. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the Hello Chambers. So you're the chairman of the House Committee on HIV and AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. How do you hope to strengthen the health institutions via legislations and as well oversight functions?
Well, I'm glad. It's true, I never expected to be the chairman of that committee, because my idea was I will be maybe in the area of oil and gas, because I'm an expert there and also an economist. But you know, leadership is all about learning. We're in the process of learning. Most times you may desire to be here and you find yourself here. Like those who are our governors and presidents, none of them were, none of them read political science, but they are doing very well. So finding myself here is an honor to me. It's an honor to learn. It's an honor to save life. It's an honor to be part of people that will improve our health sector. Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about the prevalence of fake malaria drugs. I know you said the health sector is actually really not your field, but you're familiar with the fact that there's a lot of fake drugs all around the country, especially as it has to do with malaria. And Nigeria currently accounts for the highest number of malaria deaths currently at the moment. And you have said your committee would address this matter. But the question, the real strong question behind this move is how? How do you hope to do that?
Yeah.
Especially the fact that you said you're not really familiar with this field. How do you hope to achieve this?
Yeah, like I told you, in every leadership there is a process of learning. From the day that committee was mentioned, myself as the chairman, it has been a duty for me to study, to start going through the processes, to see how I can be able to perform on this new assignment that have been given to me. And you know, it's all about political will. There is nothing impossible if you desire to do it. And because life is consigned, we have employed some consultants that will help me to be able to do this job very, very well. And there are a lot of plans that we are coming up with to make sure that the issue of fake drug that is dealt with. Because today, in every 10 in Nigeria, I think 8 is suffering malaria. It's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. At a point, I begin to thank God. I say, God, maybe because of the kind of person I am, I believe whatever I do it very well. Maybe their lives you want me to go and save there. And with the plan we have, in the shortest period of time, we are going to expose a lot. From the consultations I have done, like I said earlier, it's all about political will to do certain things. And that will is there to see that issue of malaria is bring to at least to a minimal point. Because today is like a raining thing. There is no family in a week that somebody is not suffering of malaria. And it's not that people are not going for treatment, but the issue of fake drug makes malaria that you're supposed to treat in a week or two, you treat it in months. Sometimes a drug you're supposed to take that will maybe for a few days, you are going to treat that malaria for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So it's an issue for us, like every other sector. But because life is consigned, because you don't know who it will be tomorrow, anybody can suffer malaria. Myself, I've treated malaria several times.
And it's even the season.
And thank you for that.
So, speaking of political will, do you think government is doing enough in sensitizing the public about the prevention and also the treatment of this kind of health issues? I'm talking about prevention or treatment of HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, and also malaria. Do you think the government is actually doing enough in sensitizing the population about these issues?
Well, for now, we are just inaugurated, and the government of today is not up to 2 or 3 months. And I believe with the way they are going, I see future in Nigeria.
But from your assessment, I know you're a new lawmaker, but from your assessment on the part of, will I say, the public being on at the sidelines, do you think the government has been making enough intervention in
the previous government or the current government?
Previous, current.
Because government is continuous
of
process.
Course. Yes.
Well, and you see, that is why when I met the press corps of National Assembly, I pleaded with them, because when you talk about anything about life, it's all about, media has a lot to do. It's not just the government. The media must be pathetic about it. They must fall in love in saving life. Sensitization is all about, is majorly done by media.
But in recent times, there was a lawmaker who called on President Tinubu to actually use condoms as palliatives, which has gotten a lot of backlash. Do you think this is also some way of intervention for the government at this time?
There is no way. I don't think it's normal for somebody to call the president to use condom as a palliative. That is not normal. The basic thing of life, people want to eat in this country. We should be talking about how people will survive first. When you talk about palliative, we should be talking about palliative in the area of food, in the area of agriculture. How do we be able to make the common person in this country to eat? That is the basic problem we are facing now in Nigeria. So any palliative should go towards how the common man will survive. Because when you talk about issue of somebody talking about using condom as a palliative, is it not somebody that have eaten that will talk about condom? People need to eat first. The moment Nigerians begin to be assured that tomorrow they will eat, criminality will reduce.
If you're just joining us, we have been speaking with an honorable member. He is the chairman of the House Committee on Malaria, Tuberculosis, and HIV and AIDS. And so we have been speaking about the prevention of these challenges, but looking at the current situation the country is being faced with, the state of the nation, how do you assess the steps taken so far by the government of the day? Do you think they are performing as expected? considering the socio-economic challenges that the country is facing?
Yeah, I can't say that they are doing their best because I'm not their spokesperson.
No, but you are a Nigerian,
Yeah,
and you're a lawmaker.
Yeah, but being a Nigerian, you know, because this is a new government, you don't expect them to do magic. There's no way. You can't expect them to do magic. But for me, most of the steps they are taking for now means a lot at the long run. You know, the issue of removal of subsidy is something that every government that have come in this country use for campaign. But when they get to office, they will not do it because of sentiment. But this government taking it serious, not minding the criticisms that will come on it, I think they mean well for Nigeria. They mean well. But the only problem we always counter in this system called Nigeria is that no plan for the common man. Yes, subsidy is good to be removed, but what was the plan? Considering the challenges people are going to face. Put those plans in place.
Speaking of subsidy, what are you hearing from your constituents regarding the distribution of palliatives, which we believe is going to be handled by the state government or implemented by the state governments? What are you hearing from your constituents? Has this palliative measures started trickling down to the common man?
If there is any palliative as a legislator, for now I have not seen any. And I don't think my constituency have felt any.
Okay.
And that is why we are begging the government to come up with something so quickly, because our people are suffering. People in the village are suffering. You know, when you come here in Abuja or Lagos or developed place, you think Nigeria is normal. Nigeria is not fair for some people. Some are even looking for even 1,000 to see something to eat. So whatever palliative, the measures they must have taken, it needs to be quicker, it needs to be fast, so that people will not die while waiting for palliative.
Okay. During your campaign, I'm sure you made a lot of promises to your constituents and your people, which I believe is the reason why they trusted you with the mandate and brought you into the National Assembly to represent them. What are the challenges facing your constituency, and how do you hope, what strategies do you hope to implement? How do you hope to implement, you know, interventions to these challenges in your constituency?
Yeah, thank you. You know, one of the major challenges or campaign promises I made to my constituency is in the area of security. My constituency have been suffering issue of insecurity for over 8 to 10 years now. The issue of kidnapping, incessant attack, banditry, and rest of them has been an issue. So, and one of the things I promised them is that it must be solved when elected. And from the day I came to this National Assembly, Nigerians have heard my voice on that issue. I moved a strong motion that the leadership set ad hoc committee to interface with the security agencies to see the best way to stop or reduce issue of kidnapping to the minimal level. As I'm talking to you, a lot have been done. And thank God for this, my state government and also the federal government, the support they have given us. I can tell you within the shortest period of time, the issue of that insecurity have reduced. Now, outside that, we made a lot of promises. But you know, we just came into power. By special grace of God, I know we are still on track. At least the first moves I have made, they are so happy.
As a new lawmaker that came under the party, the Labour Party, you came on under a lot of fire when you commended President Tinubu for his achievements so far within the first 100 days of his administration. Do you still share the same opinion after the backlash that you suffered? Do you still stand by what you said?
For me, I don't think I suffered anything. For me, it's for those who felt they suffered something. For Nnamdi Ogah, I didn't suffer anything. Because what I said is the truth. You see, immediately after election, we talk about governance. Myself, I'm also in court. Somebody took me to court. But it doesn't stop people to address me as honorable. I am honorable today, until court said otherwise. So for me to address Mr. President as my president, that I am shocked that this man is sound, that this man is this, doesn't make me enemy of Labour Party or enemy of my leader, Peter Obi.
So you're saying this is a case of just bad representation in the media?
Yes. Yes. It doesn't. You see, everything must not be politicized. This country, we must put the country first. The interest of Nigeria is paramount than anybody. It's only that patriotism that will take us to anywhere we want to go. So for me, saying that what perception or what I have seen after visiting Mr. President, that is not what I'm expecting to see. What makes it a crime?
So you're standing strongly by your words.
Why? See, I didn't even know that people were agitating for that, because a few weeks after, when I did my Thanksgiving, I also commented. It became an issue. So to tell you that I know what I'm doing, I believe we must change the narrative. As a young politician, I should have a perception that is different from what we see.
So recently, the Speaker of the House of Representatives also added his voice to, the sit-at-home order on Mondays imposed on states in the Southeast region. What is your own take to what is currently happening, being that the Southeast is also one of the major nurse centers when it comes to commercial activities, and the millions of money is being lost as a result of this sit-at-home order? What is your take on this?
Well, for me, those who are behind sit-at-home are enemy of Nnamdi, the enemy of Nigeria, because I don't see any reason for that. Asking our people to sit at home does not really mean you love them, because an average Igbo man and woman is a trader and is on daily basis. Some is what they do today that will eat tomorrow. As I'm talking to you, many companies are leaving the Southeast as a result of all this sit at home. There are many ways that we can show that we are being marginalized, but not by asking our people to sit at home. If you ask them to sit at home, does Mr. President know that they are sitting at home? That is the question.
But this is a general matter. It came even on the floor of the Senate, and I believe it has come on the floor of the House of Representatives as well. So this is a general matter. What do you think can be done before it snowballs into something that...
No, what I'm just pleading to Mr. President. I believe he's a man who loves Igbo people. I believe he's a man who is a Southerner. The best he can do for us as a gift is to release Nnamdi for us.
Is that the problem?
Yes. People are agitating. They are being marginalized. They are this or that. The major reason of that sit at home is that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. And I'm using this opportunity to beg Mr. President to release Nnamdi Kanu for us. Even if releasing Nnamdi Kanu to National Assembly members, so that we can have a Nigeria where everybody will be happy and relaxed. Because this sit at home is even causing a lot of issue. We don't even know the criminal gangs that call themselves in different names. Because as of today, if you go and arrest this one, the other one will say the other one, the other one will say the other. But releasing Nnamdi Kanu, we will not know who are these people doing all these things inside.
A lot of people actually believe that this problem is actually sponsored by Simon Ekpa, who is currently out of the country at the moment. Do you think the release of Nnamdi Kanu will actually solve this problem?
No, I think it will go a long way. In fact, it's the best solution. Because releasing Nnamdi Kanu, we will now know who are those behind all these things, if it continues. Because if you go and get anybody, they say they are this, they are that. They are this group or the other, that they want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. You can see criminals and different gangs now hide under, in the name of to releasing Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu should be released. I believe that Mr. President loves us. Let him show that love to Ndibo. We are not asking for much. We are not asking. Give us Nnamdi Kanu. Then, if this continues, we will not know what is happening to us.